It's approaching the supreme moment. Reality striking closer than it seems, don't it? Go ahead.
What's good? Let's do a quick test on this Extreme Intelligence Super Baby 2 Giant Ape. He does have the nuclear skills of 33% increase for intelligence key collected. His super attack is the Revenge Death Ball, provides supreme damage to enemy and lowers attack. Now his passive skill will increase attack by 100% when HP is 30% or higher, and also has the ability to turn into a giant ape. Link skills, he's got Thirst for Conquest, Metamorphosis, Saiyan Roar, GT Hatred of Saiyans, Big Bad Bosses, and Fierce Battle. So it'll be a combination of various attack boosts as well as key links. And over in JP, he does fall into the category of giants. So once the agility version of Tapion comes out in global, you can build giant category teams with that. Now his rainbow status, because this is a private server, the stats may differ. In actuality, the HP should be 13,947, attack being 13,232, and defense at 9,584. Again, he does have the ability to go into Giant Ape mode, and he does have a flat stat of 50,000 for attack. And obviously he doesn't take any damage. 12 key multiplier is at 135%. And in terms of percentage chance of going into Giant Ape, it's equivalent of 15%. Now you'll see throughout this video that I do have him linked up with the Meta Cooler quite a bit, just because Cooler provides a pretty good key boost as well as a attack boost. And initially, I did think about focusing on linking him up with other characters that had the Saiyan Roar, but since I went with the Extreme Intelligence team setup, I'll probably do that later on in the future, where the Agility Tapion comes out and you could actually build giant category teams with that, since it's not type specific. So you're looking at roughly, anywhere from 800,000 to 1.7 million just now, depending on what kind of boss event you're in or what type of boss you're fighting against. So, it sucks with the giant ape mode that the hidden potential really doesn't get reflected. I think in the future they should kind of reevaluate that option of, updating the stats a little bit based on potential system percentage unlocked, kind of thing. I think that would make it a little bit more interesting, especially with, the ability to have criticals even though he's in ape form. That would actually provide some benefit. In terms of link skills, Thirst for Conquest definitely is a good one that adds 15%. Saiyan Roar does add 25%, but you'd have to kind of go with, currently in global, you'd have to go with like a villain's team to really take advantage of that. For example, an agility Super Saiyan Rose leader type, that it's only at 50%, but once the strength version comes out, that'll be 120%, and with the ability to set up a team with the Tapion card. It's specific to Giants category. It doesn't matter if it's a super extreme type, so I think exploiting the Saiyan Roar link skill would be easier with that kind of setup. Big Bad Bosses obviously adds 25% to attack and defense, only if HP is 80% or below. And Fierce Battle is always a good one. It does add 15% boost to attack, and there's a bunch of good cards that have that link skill. So. Alright, looks like he'll be able to go into Dokkan mode. So we've got a much weaker enemy here. Unfortunately, I should have chosen, what's his name, Dora? Since he is a tech type, it would have been, more clearly visible what the damage potential was there. But as long as the critical hits, it doesn't really matter. So we'll see what happens. I'm looking forward to the return of Battlefield in JP, by the way. I'm guessing there are quite a bit of changes. Now, I did read up on the information available, but you know, like initially it was like that horizontal map and you had a bunch of enemies come out, and you know, I wasn't really a big fan of that. It was fun at the beginning, but it got boring after a while. Now, it seems like the system's a little bit different, so I don't know if they completely got rid of that because, you know, based on that little picture they had where there was a question mark for the boss in the middle, and then you had like 4 enemies surrounding that. You had to clear each one to get to the boss, but you know, is it going to be the typical Dokkan battle game mechanics, and then you have to fight a boss and you have 100 slots available for characters kind of thing? You know, it's coming out in a couple days, so you know, I guess we'll find out at the end of the day. But yeah, so you saw earlier with Dokkan mode, he did pull out about 4.4 million in damage. Much weaker enemy, but that's still a respectable figure. And we do have type disadvantage here against Cooler, so let's see how he does. So yeah, much less, 188,000. I mean, that's pretty much expected at this point without criticals. I want to keep Super Baby 2 in the middle, so I will use a defensive item just in case, since it is a type disadvantage. Better be safe than sorry. So I think, you know, with the link skills and all the setups, he looks to be, you know, power potential, you know, before he actually attacks is, you know, right below 1 million. You saw there about 800,000 with the critical, so definitely decent output overall. Now, how often you use them, it's, you know, it's debatable, I guess. I mean, honestly, for me, I run, for the most part, you know, super type teams and hero setups, so I do need to upgrade my villains deck a little bit, but you know, in terms of extreme intelligence teams, I mean, he could do fairly well, and the advantage is he does have the ability to go into the Giant Ape form. So for, you know, tougher events or even Super Battle Road, stuff like that, he could potentially come in handy. I do need to redo the video for the intelligence type Turles though, because previously I had borrowed a guest version, so he didn't really get the maximization of damage potential, because, you know, his leader skill only provides I think like +3 ki, and that was it. There's no stat boost whatsoever, so you know, maybe I'll do that whenever I get more free time. You know, I've got a bunch of backlog that I'm still trying to catch up, so we'll get to that. We'll get to that point at some time in the future, I guess. All right, so type advantage against Super Saiyan 3 Angel Goku. Let's see how he does here. So a little bit higher, better link setup. So 1.1 million potential, hitting for 1.2 million. So definitely not bad. Alright, so second round of going into Dokkan mode. So I think last time with a weaker enemy and type advantage, he hit for about 4.4 million. You know, this is a neutral type. Probably a little bit better defense on this guy than the previous guys, so probably not expecting anywhere close to 4.4 million, but yeah, we'll have to see. Alright, so 1.3 million, so definitely a lot less that time. No criticals or no type advantage either, so not really, you know, anything underwhelming by any means. I mean, that's still a decent amount. I mean, he's able to consistently hit at least, close to 800,000.